Hello, people of YouTube. Don't comment on my stuff on Facebook. Just kidding. Alright, so I've been thinking about this, doing a different thing with my YouTube. And, to kind of go back from what I was just saying and that I didn't even finish saying, I've always been interested in teaching. More music teaching than like just regular old teaching, but I also found that like I did really well with like speaking, at least maybe not like the actual like form of speaking, but like public speaking and like speaking to an audience. I found myself being very good at it. I'm not saying I'm good at talking, but I'm saying I'm good at talking to people. I've never been very good at describing things. I'm a horrid descriptor. I can't ever get my points across without making like 700,000 other bunny trails from my main point. But I wanted to start using my YouTube channel for a little bit of a more good thing. I know I vlog, which is like a personal diary kind of thing, and that's actually gotten my channel significantly farther than anything that I've done before. But because believe me, if my channel was like growing because of those vlogs, I would do those vlogs a lot more often than I do. But all right. So I came across this idea on a video I seen on YouTube where like people are using their YouTube channel to like talk about like personal issues that they deal with, and then you making like a positive like conversational video about it. So and like I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. But to debut this whole idea is I wanted to talk about how important self-doubt is. Alright, so before I go into this, I'm gonna be playing with this a lot because I happen to talk a little bit easier and a little bit like more like fluidly when I like fidget. So please deal with. You'll see this like flash in and off. You might see it at the bottom of the screen if that bothers you. I'm very, very sorry. Alright. So, like, I think self-doubt, personally, is extremely important. Because, okay, so without self-doubt, you're not going to be able to, like, improve, in a sense. At least to me. Because, like, self-doubt, it makes you think. Like, let's say you're working on a project or whatever. And, like, you got the project all done, it's a week before it's due, your class is going good, you got an A in the class and everything, and then you start doubting your project. You're like, oh man, I got it done a week before the deadline. Did I do it too fast? Did I rush? Is it not up to par? You know, is it not up to par to what an A project should be? A+ project? And that'll make you go back to your project. And I believe in like 3 different ways of doing things. There's the to a friend ideal, which is like if I have that project and I'm like I show my friend that project and I want them to give me feedback on it. I want them to be honest with me, and if they're like not engaged with the project, or if they're just like, oh yeah man, but if they're like looking at it and studying in it, then that's good. They're engaged by what I did. Then there's like what's called the test of time ideal, which is like with going back to the project, it's you got it done a week before, so like 3 days after you get it done, you go back to it and you're like, oh man, that part of the project is bad. Because like when you're in a certain activity, when you're like, pretend this is the project. Alright, so it's a piece of plastic. So like, yeah. So like when you go into it, you're like, oh man, it's bad. 3 days after you finish it, and you're like, oh man, it's bad. That's the test of time, where like, because when you're doing a project, you're in a certain like frame of mind. Like you're in, like when you get focused into something, your brain does this thing where it feels like short little spurts are like big steps into your project. Like I'll go to like a different example. Like when you're working on a song or something, it's 3 minutes long. It's got a really catchy hook to it and the most epic chorus in the world. And then you're like, yeah, you get it done. 3 minutes over with. And then like a week or so, you go back and you're going to finalize and mix and master, and then you're just like, wow, this chorus is ass. And then you're just like, shit. Damn it. So you gotta change the entire chorus and do a completely different writing and do like 4 different chords, you know? And because when you're in a completely different like frame of mind. Just like if you're like regular and you're just chilling and you're in like a chill. And then like when you're working on a project, whether it be a song or like a sculpture or a painting or whatever, your little steps seem like big successes. And you get into this like mindset that like little things are big, but they're really not. I'm not saying that little steps aren't good steps. It's just your brain thinks they're a lot bigger than what they are. You know what I mean? So there's the friend ideal, there's the test of time, and then there's then there's the public merit. I hate saying it the way that I do, but the way I describe it is you like put your stuff that's not from a friend, that's from a neutral source. Like, let's say you have like a mutual friend on Facebook with someone, and you don't really talk to them, you comment on their stuff every now and then, but other than that, they essentially have no idea who you are. And then you post it on the internet and you share the link, they click on it, they have no idea who you are, so they don't really care about how you feel, you know? So like, they'll give you a more honest answer than what your friend would. Because your friend would more or less try to make you feel good. You know? They're not trying to like offend you. If your friend was just like, man, this song is terrible, dude. Like really, you should just quit doing music. That's not exactly the best friend. I mean, I appreciate the honesty, but that's not really exactly constructive criticism. But the public merit is like, you show your art to the like public people that have no like association with you, and they give their opinion because it's a neutral source. When you give a neutral source the ability to comment on like your work and your art, it becomes a whole different area of like opinion. Excuse me. That's like just 3 ways to manage the not to manage, but that's just 3 ways to like curve the self-doubt a little bit, or increase it if you really get like a bad negative opinion on whatever. But like self-doubt as an artist is like extremely important. It is incredibly important because it can make you rethink things that are good. And makes you go back to your projects, and makes you go back to your songs, or even if like you're not a musician, let's say you're an artist or like a painter or a sculptor, it can make you go back to your painting or your sculpt and be like, wow, this person's nose looks like ass. And then you go to like redo the nose and you're just like, wow, this looks better than the one that I had before this. I personally feel like self-doubt is a thing that needs to be like not avoided, but when it happens, addressed. You know, you gotta be like, alright, I'm feeling this self-doubt sort of way. What am I doing? How am I gonna address this? If you have self-doubt about your song, let's say you're an artist or a musician or whatever, and you have a self-doubt about a song, and you're like, and you listen to the song, and you don't necessarily find something wrong with the song, and you still feel the self-doubt, maybe it's more or less about the way you're going at the song. Maybe you're feeling like, let's say you're self-doubting, you're like, oh man, this song's just not good. And you listen to it and you're like, okay, so it's a good song, it's catchy, my friends have said that it's pretty good. Maybe you're looking at it like the wrong way. So like try looking at it like it's not your song. Try like what I typically do, because I write my own little music for a project that I'm working on too. So what I typically do, I typically it's a really weird like mental like trick that I do with myself. I copy the song and I paste it, and like I open that project and I pitch shift everything by one semitone, like the entire project, and then I listen to it like that. That way it's none of the notes are exactly the same, but it's the same song. The only thing I don't do that to is my vocals. But like it's the same song, just in a completely different just the notes are moved over one, and so it would sound very different. And then you're just like, all right, let me listen to this. And then you go back to the original, like, finished song or whatever, and you're just like, wow. Yeah. Ways to deal with self-doubt, though, go far beyond just looking at your art, or looking at your sculpt, or looking at your song, or listening to your song, or whatever. It goes more... Sometimes it has to be within. You know, I hate to get like really like deep, but like sometimes your self-doubt isn't about your art. Sometimes it's more about like life. You know, sometimes you're doubting, oh man, my job, they're gonna fire me, oh god. Or sometimes like, oh, I didn't turn in my term paper for school, and you're killing yourself over it. Sometimes it's more or less about finding yourself almost. It's like, man, the people I associate with are just not good, and they're not really helping me be me, you know? Sometimes, like, it's more or less about just your position in your existence, you know? Maybe you're going down a route that you're not really considering is the best. Maybe you're, like, starting to do a lot of the drugs, and you're just like, oh man, I'm doing all these drugs now, going down this road, and I should be going down this road. I don't want to be doing that, but I'm doing it. But I don't want to be doing it. So maybe it's just looking at it from a different perspective kind of thing. All in all, I feel like self-doubt is more or less a way to grow than it is a way to be put back. When you encounter self-doubt, it's not you being shitty to yourself. It's really not, because I don't think I don't really believe that most of the people in the world want to be shitty to themselves. The world is a very negative place, and I don't believe people want to necessarily deal with that all the time. But like, it's just self-doubt is a way to grow. It's not a thing to make you get put back. It's not a thing that makes you want to redo every last part of something. It's not something that makes you want to doubt your grades in your class, or like your standing at your job. It's a way to grow. It's not about negative. It's either a neutral or a positive thing. Now, if you just wallow in your self-doubt, it's not going to do any help. It's not going to do anything besides make your self-doubt grow. So when you encounter self-doubt, it's something that's like, hey, fix this, redo this, make this better, become better, you know? Like, it's just not. I don't know if I'm going to upload this, but I'm probably going to. I don't know. If this is uploaded on my channel, then have what you will. I hope this helped. I'm horrid. I'm absolutely disgusting at explaining things. Like, I am just not good. It's just not, I'm not good at explaining things in like any sort of way ever. And plus it's extremely hot. I don't know if you can see, but I'm sweating. My air conditioner person, the people I live with don't turn on their air conditioning ever. So, yeah. Got people right there. Alright, this isn't a vlog, it's more of just a thing that I'm talking about. So, yeah. If you like the video, like the video. If you dislike the video, dislike the video. Regardless of what you thought, leave your feedback in the comments down below. Alright, I'll probably vlog tomorrow. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.